Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers coming at you from
a Corps of Engineer park that is Highview Park at Bardwell Lake, and that is near Ennis. And for those of you who do not know where Ennis, Texas is, there's Dallas-Fort Worth, and in the bottom right corner
we have Ennis.
And this park is actually on a peninsula. The top loop is the 50 amp and the very bottom loop is the 30 amp. The one in the middle was the day use area. And this is a rural area. This is just basically giving you kind of an overview of, there is our campsite. So we had this great view.
And this was the last weekend, March, first weekend in April. And so we have some bluebonnets.
There were just a few here in the park, but as we went out and did some driving around, this is Texas, this is our state flower. And so, as good Texans, we took lots of pictures. And it is not against the law to pick these, however, moral code of conduct is
You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't. And you will see people pulled over taking pictures of people in the bluebonnets.
And we can thank Lady Bird Johnson for all the wildflowers along the medians and highways.
And they are just gorgeous. And like I said, this is spring. They'll be there through May-ish, but then it's going to be over. But this is going to give you just kind of a view of the campground. And we did stay in the 50 amp just because from the map that we could find, that looked like the best spot that we would be able to fit in on this weekend. We came in kind of a last minute trip that we decided on, and so we stayed in the 50 amp instead of the 30 amp loop. And as you can see, we had a great site. But this just gives you an idea. The lake, there's actually quite a little bit of area between the road and the lake. I know that view back there, it looked like it was right on the lake, but it's really kind of nice to have that area down there that's open and equal access for everyone to get down and fish or just sit down by the lake if you want to. But this gives you an idea, and I do apologize for not taking the antenna down. Usually I do that, but this trip was just, like I said, spur of the moment.
Whirlwind trip.
It was, and so didn't get that done. But this is just kind of
The marina also has a paid fishing pier.
In our videos, we try to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And
looking at the marina, you will see that.
We, if you go there, we want you to know there's a part that is not that great. Like we said, we're on a peninsula, so the other side is where all the campgrounds and everything are. And this is coming into the 30 amp.
If you don't go down to the 30 amp, you don't even know the marina's there.
Exactly. Now, this is kind of a tight turn here. Obviously we didn't have our trailer because we were back at the other area, but by the time we got ready to come, the sites that were long enough for our RV were already filled. And so some of these are shorter, as you can see, but some of them, they do have pretty long trailers in there as well as tents. And there were some tents next door to us one night. So this just gives you kind of an overview of what this park looks like. There aren't any paths.
There isn't a playground.
There was that day use area, or picnic area and swim area, and there were some kids swimming there, which was way too cold. But a cool thing, we did get a little aerial show.
This guy is flying, I guess, a single-engine plane. He would go up. This is not a remote control. This is an actual airplane, and he would go upside down and flip some, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know how long he was going to be there when he started. I just ran in, grabbed the camera, didn't get a tripod, and trying to get him, figure out where he was in the viewfinder and all. So anyway, he put on a show for everybody at the campground or around the lake for a little while. Now, from Ennis to Rice, if you are familiar with Casita, that is actually where the Casita factory is, and you can see it's 21 minutes from where we are. And you can call and tell them you want to take a tour, and they will show you around. But if you want to look at Casitas, it's a very close drive.
I think Corsicana is about 29 minutes.
And the Collin Street Bakery, there is a big store on 45. That's not the one I would recommend you go to in the beginning. Go back over to the 7th Street store, and the recipe came over from Germany, and the Collin Street Bakery actually opened in 1896, spent 10 years on Collin Street, and then moved to the 7th Street store.
This is not a grocery store fruitcake.
No, and there are different varieties, as you
Yes.
just saw there. And then there's also a Russell Stover outlet, and it is there in Corsicana. And if you want to go to the back room where they have the seconds. Well, you may want to get the stuff at the front. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So Corsicana, lots of places to eat there. But something we want to warn you about: while we drove down there, this entire area of 45 is under construction. This is the major thoroughfare from Dallas to Houston. You have no shoulders, and then you have lane shifts. And so we have 18-wheel trucks driving on this section of 45 where there is no shoulder, and we're having to shift lanes. So we did, several years ago, make a video about
RVing in Texas and how to avoid this kind of traffic. Share any final thoughts about High View Army Corps of Engineer Campground?
Well, I tell you, it has been it's been a perfect place for this weekend. It's close enough that we didn't spend a lot of time on the road, which is exactly what we were looking for. The lake here is beautiful. Just sorry that the wind has been up so much.
Yes,
so that
it has.
But it's spring. What do you expect? But a really nice campground and convenient for those
Yes.
places that
Yes.
we've talked about. It is approximately 30 minutes from here to the Casita factory. So if that's something you're wanting to go and see, then
It's an excellent campground for that.
and then also 30 minutes.
From the Russell Stover factory.
Yeah,
in
it's a little bit.
Corsicana.
Yeah, a little bit further for that. I've got a map that shows that. And then for Casita is between here and Corsicana.
Yes.
And then that original Collin Street Bakery. I know fruitcakes have a bad rep.
Those are great.
Collin Street Bakery fruitcakes are not your
Grocery
little
store.
Yeah, no, they're not the little grocery store. These are amazing, and that I know for me, part of it is just the fact that I have some memories of going to that store with my mom and sampling until we got this tremendous head rush. Samples are a little bit more scarce now, but that original store is a really neat place, and so convenient for that, and it was also somewhere we could get in this weekend.
Yes, and it is Easter weekend.
This isn't going to be posted
No.
until way on down the road. We've got several other things already lined up, and
But we know that Fort Parker was full. I'm guessing it's not far away. Purtis Creek is close by, and Fairfield's not that far for state parks. They're close by. This one we could get into. Honestly, it is a pretty little park
It
in
is.
its own way.
it is.
It is a no-frills park. You're not going to find a playground. You're not going to find a fishing pier.
There's that paying fishing pier. And the other thing is, because this is not a state park, if you fish here, you're going to need a fishing license.
Yes.
There are no trails, but the dogs and I have gotten out and walked on the roads, and so that has been nice. You do have, we've got a gorgeous campsite here where nobody's on that side of us. We're the last one on this side, and so we've got just this endless view of just a field and cows, and it's really
Yeah.
kind of nice. I showed you part of that. So anyway, it's our first Corps of Engineer park in Texas, because we always stay at the state parks, but they were full this weekend, and we decided kind of late that we wanted to get away, and this is just filled the bill.
Yes.
Fit the bill.
Perfect.
Whatever
for
that
this
expression is.
weekend.
Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.